You know what I saw today? A pimp driving a Volkswagen. Are you kidding me? F you, 2020. Hey everyone, how you doing? Tom, aka Nostradamus Trades. Today I want to talk about Tesla. I want to talk about Nio. Oh, why do you do this to me, Nio? We'll slide a little bit of XPENG. I want to quickly talk about VGAC. We can't wrap this up without talking about a little Bitcoin. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. And I want to thank everyone that joined the Airbnb stream today. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking to do a lot more stuff like that in the future. Really appreciate you coming in. Sorry I couldn't stick around for that Airbnb to open. Pretty anticlimactic. I had to get off to work. It opened up way too high anyway. Did any of you get in it? Post down below. I'm interested. I considered like doing a quick trade on it, and I'm like, man, this ain't worth it. And I bounced both Airbnb and Dash. No interest in either one of them for at least probably 1 to 2 years. As I mentioned in the live stream, check out The Popular Investor if you don't already follow him. The dude's amazing. He did a really good video on Airbnb. Be sure to check that out. All right, let's get into Tesla. Woo, baby, what a wild ride. We were all the way up to, what, 660? Then boom, that hammer fell. We were falling like a rock down to 594. Last night, man, I couldn't get to sleep. It was rough. After hours, we were down more. In the morning, I woke up, that thing was still going down. What did that thing bottom out? 566. Ooh, so I got to sit there and wonder, these fools at Tesla dropped them 10 million shares over the last couple of days. You know, me personally, I probably would have waited. And, you know, I kind of thought they might wait to the 21st, and maybe that's still what's happened. It wouldn't surprise me if we hear they've already dumped them, and that's what caused this downward pressure, and possibly even add in a little bad news, some jobs reports and things like that. Tesla falling. Next thing you know, the market's going down a bit, but you know how this market is, man. You got to buy them dips, homie, until it stops working. Anyway, Tesla, nice little rebound. It's up to close at 627. You know, it's down a few bucks in the after hours, but I have a feeling, I could be wrong, I have a feeling we're going to wake up in the morning, this thing's 660 again. What do you think? You think we're going to be up tomorrow or we're going to be down? Let's get on to Nio, and guess what? Oh, my favorite company, Nio. Guess what they're doing again? That's right, they're offering shares, man. These guys offer more shares than anyone I've ever seen. Oh, I mean, I can't blame them. Their stock's up. That's going to be a big problem with this company going forward. They are going to continue to offer shares. Go check out their webpage. It's like every few days they're offering shares, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. You see here, they're looking to use it for, I think it's somewhere in here, I read they want to use it for research and development. I mean, eventually they're going to have to build some factories, and them things ain't cheap, so it's going to be an ongoing problem with Nio. I'm very bullish Nio, but at the same time, I'm very skeptical. But you know what? You know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to give up on that one. I have 500 shares in Nio in my main account. I have 100 shares in Nio in my IRA. Honestly, I'm looking forward to lighten that up a lot. I'll probably get rid of all of it in my IRA. I might keep some of it around. I'm probably going to get rid of most of it in my main stock account, except for, say, 100 shares. My big reasons for doing this is I'm going to get heavy into crypto next year. I've said it a million times. I personally, I'm not a financial advisor. You know this. It's entertainment purposes only. I think Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, massive opportunity. I've mentioned this before. I'm already shopping for private islands on Zillow. I'm shopping for Bentleys, you name it. I'm fur coats, jewelry, grills, diamond grills. I'm looking for it. You know what's up? Anyway, I'm gonna lighten that up. I think Nio is gonna be like, it's gonna be a love-hate relationship if you're in that long term. It's gonna be a lot of good news, a lot of the stock going up, and then them offering shares. So eventually, I think they're gonna be an amazing company. Are they gonna be the next Tesla? Honestly, invest in Tesla, man. Please just invest in Tesla. There is no comparison right now. A lot of people are like, oh, Tesla is worth more than GM and Ford and Toyota and blah, 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 blah. Let me ask you a question. Does Toyota own any gas stations? Do they? No. I mean, Tesla doesn't either, but they kind of do. You know, their charging network. Does Toyota have full self-driving? No. Full self-driving is going to be worth billions of dollars. Does all these other companies, do they do battery storage? Battery storage is its own company, its own like massive billion-trillion-dollar company going forward. Insurance, right? Oh my God. Anyway, like, you know, there's some people out there, I might be like pretty heavy myself, like way too heavy into Tesla, not as diverse as I should be. Typically, if someone were to say, hey, you know, I got all my money in this one stock, you know, it's like, you probably shouldn't do that. You probably want to diversify. But if someone were to tell me they had their life savings in Tesla, I'd probably say the same thing, but I would also probably think, man, that dude's probably going to be rich, Anyway, that's my opinion. Let's move on to the next thing. The same thing when it comes to XPENG. They just recently did a shelf offering more shares. Lee, the same thing. I know a lot of people ask me about Lee. Lee, like, they might be something in the future. Just the whole hybrid thing turns me off. Me, like, I'm passionate for EV. I want the governments to put the foot down harder on this. I want, U.S. government to do everything they can. Incentives. I want more incentives on EV cars, solar. They need to do incentives on battery storage, and then we just really need to hit this hard. Global warming, I'm sorry to say to some people, is the real deal. We need to start doing something about it now. Anyway, XPENG price is going down. They offered more shares. I love this company a lot. I honestly like it more than Nio. There's a few things about Nio I really love. That battery swap thing, I think that could be, it's its own like moat competitive advantage in a way, right? I've said this numerous times, especially if they pull off full self-driving robo-taxis. It's a pretty slick deal, dude. You just send your little car off. That thing can run 24/7. If it needs charged up, it just drives up to the battery swap. Just keeps on going, right? With Teslas, XPENGs. They're going to have to figure that out anyway, and I'm sure they will. But anyway, I heard, I keep hearing, and it does make me nervous with these Chinese companies. Unfortunately, it is what it is. I support the right regulation that they're talking about. Whether or not what they're doing now is perfect, I don't know. I'm not a lawmaker. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not I'm not in the government, but something's got to be done. We need accountability for these companies. I want full disclosure. I want to make sure everything's on the up and up. I'm sure there's some great Chinese companies, and I'm sure there's some Chinese companies that are more like Lucklin. That scares the hell out of me. And as I mentioned today in the live stream, again, the popular investor, he did a video on Nio, I believe, and it was really good. And he was talking about how he has a source in China, and this source told him a week before that Luckin is just a scam, and everyone in China is laughing at the Americans buying this. And he shrugged it off, and the next thing you know, a week later, Luckin, the fraud came out. Well, the same source told him that XPENG is kind of a scam. And look, I don't know if there's any validity to this, but that scares me. And I sure as hell am not going to put all my money, or big bulk of my money, in some company on a gamble when there's no full disclosure. Again, I think the XPENG cars look amazing. I actually kind of want one based on everything I see, but is it worth it? Are you in it? Again, I did exit all my XPENG shares, but I do a lot of put credit spreads and things like that. Just keep it loose, keep it light, try and make a few dollars. I am bullish. Do $500 wide, maybe get $2 credit. 60% chance of success with defined risk. If I'm wrong, I lose $300, Anyway, that's what I do. Let's move on to the next thing. So I just recently did a video on VGAC, and I gave my thoughts on it. I'll post a link up to that. Check it out. Maybe I'll post it again at the end. I'm very bullish on the thought of VGAC, but the more I think about it, I just want to talk about this a bit. I think the Hyperloop is an amazing technology. We need to get the government involved, and we need to aggressively push and build out that infrastructure like we did back in the day with our first railroad system. Although this time maybe not do kind of the same shady practice. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, we need to do that. I'm all for it. Here's the deal. If VGAC, Richard Branson Blank Check Company, announces that they are going to do a SPAC reverse merger with Hyperloop, this stock will go ballistic. I'm in warrants. It's the first warrants I've ever done. I have 300 of them. I'm not an expert on warrants. I'm just kind of checking it out. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. If this thing blows up, I want to see how this acts. I want to take my profits. Here's the deal. I do not like this play long term because, I live next to the California high-speed rail. You don't know anything about that? Just read some news stories. It is a freaking nightmare. It is a budget overrun nightmare. It is a massive headache. And they've shortened it from it was going to go to San Diego to LA, all through the Central Valley, up to Sacramento, over to the Bay and back down. Dude, that thing now, and it was supposed to be done in 2022. Now, that thing is just going to go from Merced to Bakersfield, And that's not even currently projected to be done until 2033, and it's going to cost billions and billions more dollars. So what do you think is going to happen with this Hyperloop? Do you think they magically have some way, this, even if like it's worth $1 or $2 billion, do you think they're just magically going to be able to build out this thing that costs probably hundreds of billions of dollars in a short time frame? You know, probably not. So I'm all for it. I love it, but I ain't, it's not going to be me for a long-term hold. Anyway, let's move on to Bitcoin. So next to Tesla, I'm the world's biggest Bitcoin bull, and I just cannot wait. I mentioned it. I have a little bit over 1 Bitcoin now. I'm waiting for the TastyWorks exchange to get online. I'm waiting for the beginning of the year for some tax purposes to liquidate some positions. And I think Bitcoin is going to have a tremendous 2021 year. Bitcoin did take a little whack on the head the other day. It was hovering in the 19,000s again, and then it flushed from 19,000 down to 18,000, and it did find really good support there. Let me quickly get into why that happened. So it's a really weird, interesting story, and I didn't spend a whole bunch of time in it. And apparently there's some Mt. GOX users. It stands for something like Magic the Gathering, something or something other. I don't know. These dudes were sending like their money to some guy in the United Kingdom or somewhere in Europe. Dude was just sitting there at his little computer, and he'd get little checks in the mail, and then he would buy Bitcoin and put it in it. Like, I don't know. It's crazy, dude. The guy had like billions of dollars, now worth billions of dollars in Bitcoin, and it got hacked. And then, so apparently they've recovered a bunch of it, and they said a lot of it's going to end up back on the market. So apparently that's what caused the sell-off. Here's the deal. I'm not worried. I need a sell-off right now because I want to buy like 3, 4, 5 Bitcoin come the beginning of the year. So if that thing's $15,000, beep, back up the truck, son, because I'm loading the boat. But it's already, so like Bitcoin has this really, like it's really starting to be a real thing. You know, all these big hedge fund guys are coming on board. Banks are coming on board. Governments are coming on board. So now in the past, even during bull runs, Bitcoin would go up and have these massive 30% dips and go up. Even now, man, I think in the past, this thing would have dropped 30, 40% on some news like that. But nah, there's just too many grayscales and other big companies out there buying that up. You got PayPal buying it up. You got Square buying it up. You got ETFs coming online that are buying this up. So this is like, I don't see this personally. I don't like if this were to get, God, man, if this were to get down to 15,000, ooh, baby. If this were to get down to 10,000, I've already sold everything I owned at 15,000. 10,000, man, I might have to get creative because I might have to buy some more. I just don't see it happening. Going forward, I don't think we're going to see any wild 30% drops. I think that's going to tighten up because there's a lot more liquidity coming into it. That may change. There's a huge like parabolic move, then, you know, we could get back to some big parabolic down moves. Anyway, that's my opinion. How many of you out there are Bitcoin hodlers? Are you a full Bitcoin? Like, are you a full Bitcoin guy, gal? Let me know. Hit them comments up down below. Again, I have a little over 1 Bitcoin. I want to buy at least 2 to 3 to 4 more. I'm hoping to get up to like 4, but I'm going to need that Bitcoin. You know, I'm going to need a little gift from the gods to get a little Bitcoin dump going into when I'm ready to buy it. Anyway, let's wrap this video up. Again, I appreciate it. You are true warriors. If you made it to the end, you are warlords. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you did hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Shame on you. Anyway, I'm wrapping this up. I love you guys all and gals. Peace.